And we have two of our guest presenters here with us that I mentioned earlier. We have Tom McMullen and Karen Bellinger here. So Tom is and Karen are both volunteers with the council. Many of you probably know them, and I took the liberty of finding pictures of them. So I apologize if clearly Tom has a great beard. Um, And so we appreciate you guys hopping on and being able to help talk about the older youth programs and how important it is for recruitment. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to both Tom and Karen to talk about what they specialize in and kind of share with us some of the different insights that you can present. So.
Well, okay. I'm Tom McMullen, and I'm an Eagle Scout, and I have 15 years as a Sea Scout leader, and Sea Scouting is a traditional program, and I'm also the council's older youth program assistant council commissioner. And it took me a long time. You can go ahead and turn the slide now. It took me a long time to understand that Scouts 15, certainly 15 and up are different. They're a different age group entirely than what we have in Scouts BSA for the most part. It took me 3 years to figure that out. And also took those 3 years to understand why older scouting programs were essential. I just got involved as an adult and at my charter partner, and scouting and scouting is scouting, but at that point I did not appreciate the differences in programs. So this slide, this is the most important information that in my 15 years of working with older youth that I have received. It's all distilled down to one piece of paper. You see that the second bullet point there, we lose 50% of Scouts BSA youth between the ages of 13 to 15. Some of that is due to the training of the adult leadership and attrition in adult leadership. We lose roughly half of our adult leaders annually. And then some of it is that the program is not a fit for older scouts, because the median age of a scout is typically 12 to 13, and the typical median age of a venturer or a Sea Scout is typically 15 to 17. And the age ranges are entirely different. The age range for Scouts is 10 to 17, and the age range for venturing Sea Scouts is 14 or 13 in some cases through 20. And then we all know, everybody on the call knows that we know this, having been Scouts BSA leaders, we know that we tend to lose virtually all of the Scouts by age 16. Not all of them. Some stay around and put their efforts into the order there and a few other high adventure activities and high adventure bases and trainings and things. But virtually the vast rank and file of Scouts BSA, they quit by age 16. And to me, that's a 5-alarm fire. And we can do something about that because retaining a Scout is just as good as recruiting a new Scout. And we need to be doing those things. We need to embrace and keep kids in scouting. The troop model, the issue is that the program is retooled in venturing and Sea Scouting to meet an older Scouts interest. And it involves a lot more high adventure. My ship, for example, is an all high adventure traditional Sea Scout sailing ship. And that is important to retain, to keep Scouts interested so they don't quit. So the older youth programs, venturing and Sea Scouting are a fit for the older Scout, or a better fit for the older Scout than Scouts, and that's why they tend to leave. But scouting, and no matter what you do in scouting, venturing, Sea Scouting, and Scouts BSA are traditional Scout Oath and Law based programs, and in all three programs, Eagle can be finished or earned, so should not be a concern. It's about keeping the kids in scouting, and Lastly, the last point I would like to make about this slide is that sometimes there's a perception that the older youth programs are poaching scouts out of the troops. And we can certainly understand where that perception can come from, but that's the last thing on our minds as older youth program leaders. We're simply trying to keep kids in scouting, and if often it's not well understood that oftentimes when a scout leaves the troop, they were going to leave anyway. So, and in many cases, a good older youth program leader will try to direct their scouts to go back and help their troops where they owe a debt, especially if they earned Eagle Scout. We subscribe to that model and that level of giving back. So if you're a scoutmaster and you want to keep your kids in scouting, which should be the only goal that we all have, and they're losing interest in the troop, and the program isn't working for a given scout anymore, please consider an older youth program. Introduce them to a trooper crew or a Sea Scout ship or a venturing crew, and let's see if we can keep them in scouting. Okay, and next slide. I'm going to talk about Sea Scouts, and Karen is going to talk about venturing. But Sea Scouts, very much like Scouts BSA, with also with very challenging rank advancements. Venturing can have advanced avocations and hobbies along with high adventure activities and program. Whereas Sea Scouting, we're almost all aquatics based, high adventure based. And because of the age of the scouts, if the median age is 16, 17, they're thinking about their futures. So it's just inevitable that, well, while we're not a career exploration program, it's inevitable that if kids have an aquatic or a maritime interest, that we're doing things that are going to help foster that interest so that they can go, and many do choose to go on in a maritime career out of Sea Scouting. So we have kids that go into the Coast Guard, into the service academies, and so forth. And we are a unique program. And now I will turn it over to Karen to talk about venturing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Bellinger, and I am the council advisor for our Venturing Officers Association. It's made up of all the crews are supposed to be part of that group that kind of makes decisions about what the venturing program wants, what they want the venturing program to look like as they participate in it, whether it's opportunities for gatherings, social gatherings, or opportunities for service. You can see here, these are the kind of the main tenets of the venturing program: adventure, leadership, personal growth, and service. So all the activities that a crew or individuals do should surround these four tenets, primary tenets. I do want, Travis, can you go back to the first slide that Tom, that one? I wanted to highlight in that second paragraph, the first bullet point, instead of dropping out of scouting, they stay in an additional 16.5 months. Now, if you think of that average age that they leave, so that's what, about 14, 15, something like that. What can happen in those 16 and a half months? You got to really think about that. This is an opportunity for them to stay in a program that's values-based and can actually help them, attain leadership skills and additional skills. The other key part about this age group is that it's a natural thing for them to kind of lose interest in what was like the younger group of kids. They're kind of beyond that. And they are now moving into a more adult and more mature way of thinking about things. And, just that it's a natural thing. So having the program of Sea Scouting and venturing is really important for that, to meet the needs of those youth. Let's see. So that's, you can go back to the, that slide, yeah. So you can see these are all things that kind of go hand in hand with that increasing developmental maturity that they're getting. There's a couple other things here I wanted to share. Give me 1 second and find it. No, that's not it. Sorry.
No, you're good, Karen. And while you're looking for that, I just wanted to encourage or even challenge any of our troop leaders or any of our chartered organization representatives that are watching this right now, that if you have a Cub Scout pack and a troop that's chartered through your church or civic organization or wherever, I highly encourage you or challenge you to have a conversation to see if a Sea Scout ship or a venturing crew should be added. And honestly, it should.
Right.
It obviously complements everything that we do, and they're great programs. And
Right.
so that's my challenge for any of you out there watching, that if you have the ability to have a conversation with your chartered organization, you should seriously consider adding a venturing crew and or a Sea Scout ship. So
Right.
back to you, Karen.
Okay, I got it now. So there's a couple other points I wanted to make. You need to think about in scouting is to know what you don't know. Now you may you may be question that, but you need to ask questions. So if you see a program like Ventures, ask those venturers, you know, what do you like about venturing? What do you like about Sea Scouting? Be the ambassador for the older youth programs. Bring the experts to your meetings, or invite older youth to give valuable input and exposure to our program, whether it's a roundtable or a camping committee meeting or that kind of thing. We actually are Venturing Officers Association president, a young man in our council. The presidents of each of the older youth programs, so Venturing, Sea Scouting, and the Order of the Arrow, their primary leaders are part of our council executive board. I'm not sure exactly their title in that, but that's that's important input for the people who are running our council. So you need to also help people understand that scouting's journey is from, you know, the Lions through venturing and Sea Scouting. So there's a continuum, and that message needs to start as Cub Scouts. Additionally, the older youth program has advancement that matters. In the Sea Scouting program, some of that advancement is actually their proficiency in certain skills that can mean the difference between life and death. You know, when you're out in the water and there's a storm comes up, they need to know how to do that and how to do that appropriately. And in venturing, they have the opportunity to do other high adventure things where they have to know. Now, some of that could be like a trek to Philmont, or it could be a serious canoe paddle on some river in Montana, but that's important there. Older youth program, it all builds on age-appropriate leadership skills. The Summit and Quartermaster Award, which are the two highest awards for venturing and Sea Scouting, those are prestige awards, just like the Eagle rank. And they also, they mean a lot to resumes, whether they're going to college or wherever. But also, if they enter the armed services, they can get a higher rank upon entering just because they have those awards. The magic of our national programs and how they help older youth grow and stay in scouting. Again, this age group is more and more just craving these adventure situations, and our national high adventure bases is the program that they get there is unrivaled in the scouting program. Outdoor programs are essential for this group. And of course, you know that this is already one of our core functions of scouting, and it counters the online and device focus that many of our youth have, getting them out into the woods or out on the sea, you know, or whatever, is a good counter to those habits. There's training for older youth, which includes the National Youth Leadership Training Program. And you know, many of your Scouts BSA age group go to that. There's additional ones like the National Advanced Youth Leadership Experience, which is kind of the next step to that. So it's more advanced. It's only done in national programs. And also there's advanced leaderships or advanced skill training, such as paddlecraft safety or BSA lifeguard, and climbing instructors and things like that. Let's see. And also it's important to know there's the adult roles evolve through the program. So when you've got like little tiger cubs or, you know, wolf cubs, you know, you're going to have one type of leadership. It's basically, you know, kind of helping them learn and helping them, you know, you're very hands-on. And as you get into Scouts BSA, there's more, a little more, you're kind of letting them kind of take the lead. But when they are in Sea Scouting and venturing, your role there becomes more of a mentor or a coach. So they're kind of doing it. Of course, you have to be safe and you have to have youth protection. So that's the role. The role evolves as well. And then you also, the last thing here is engaging disinterested scouts with older youth programs. Probably many of you know of younger scouts even. They have to be at least 14 to get in our program, but that are showing they're maybe not coming to meetings, or they're kind of maybe acting up, or just kind of wanting to be off by themselves with their phone. And getting them involved in a older youth program could be a difference for them in staying in the program and coming up with some different things that they might be interested in. So anyways, I hope if you have any questions about being an ambassador for older youth in a way, or getting a crew or a ship started, as Travis said, we'd be glad to help you. So just please reach out. And I think, are you going to share all our contact information, Travis, somehow?
Yeah, it's there.
Oh, we got our emails
do.
there. So.
And we'll send it out as well. And then people can reach out to you individually. So, but this is good stuff. Thank you so much, Tom and Karen, for jumping on and being our guest presenters, especially in regard to the youth programs. We're going to have plenty of resources that we're going to talk about in just a sec, for not only for Cub Scouting, because I know that's a major emphasis, because we got to build up from the bottom and up, right? But we also are going to have resources available for any of you in the older youth programs with units to be able to make sure that you're recruiting throughout the year as well.
Good stuff.